Hi, this is Stephen Meade. I wanted to share a little story with you guys. We're going to start a new company called Thanks for Your Service. And I know a lot of people sort of have these ideas about veterans and first responders, but I want to tell you a story of what happened. It was two quick little things, right? My parents grew up military, and that wasn't a big influence, but uh, a couple months ago I was in New York, and I was standing at Times Square, and this was a day after the police had just been shot. And as I was walking through Times Square, I noticed something interesting. These cops were standing there protecting guys like me just walking through. And it was a really strange feeling because I wanted to go up and say thank you, but I also didn't want to walk up and bother them or scare them or jolt them. And I started thinking, how can I create something that says thank you? I wanted a universal symbol for thank you. And I didn't think about as much about it. And then a couple months later, I was in New York, I was having breakfast, and I walked out on 35th Street. It was about 8:30 in the morning. And as I got ready to turn, to my left was a massive explosion. Boom. And I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but the first thing that goes through your mind, especially in New York, is it a bomb? Is it terror? Is it a backfire? I didn't want to go to the nefarious negative right away, but it was like, did something just fall off of a truck? And the whole street had stopped. And you're kind of standing around, not doing much, and a few seconds later I turn and I get ready to walk towards my appointment, and the second explosion goes off. And this time it's a fireball that you could actually see in the sky. And it was interesting because in that instant, two things happened. One, 200 people on the street screamed and started running that way, as you can imagine. And I looked up and there were 4 police officers running that way, running towards the sound. No idea what it was, no idea what they were running into, what kind of danger it might have been. And they were running to the sound while 200 other people are screaming, running the other way. And as it turned out, I've got the article for it, it was just a gas explosion. But at that time, at that moment, nobody knew what it was. And I think that's relevant with what just happened in Manchester. Scooter Braun from Ariana Grande made a great comment, and quote, he said, "I want to thank the first responders who ran towards the sound." And that's sort of what started this. So what I did is I went out and I started researching. I thought, well, peace, that's kind of stupid. Thumbs up. I don't want to salute because I'm not in military. I certainly didn't want to walk up to a police officer and say, "Hey, thank you." Might look like I'm drawing a gun. So I thought second about that, and I went, all right, what do we do? Let's do this. Let's create a universal symbol to just say thank you. And so from there, I went out and I researched all of the tactical signs. I pulled up the SWAT signals and said, what are the different hand signals, right? I didn't want something that said, hey, there's a kid in the trunk, or there's somebody hiding around the corner. And I came up with the idea of thanks for your service. And what that really was is a way to say thank you. And it's 4 fingers, thanks for your service, the 4 branches of the military. And you just tap your heart with a simple tap as you're walking by, right? And it doesn't have to be a reverent bow. It's not anything like this. It's just a simple gesture that says thank you. And this could be for police, fire, first responders, military, security guards. And how do you create a universal movement? Well, the first thing we did is said we needed a symbol. So we created a symbol, which I'll show you in a moment. And then the next step is we're going to end up doing a website to sell hats, t-shirts, and buttons. And so this video is really just to sort of describe to you the company we're going to start, what we're going to try and do, and the merchandise. And this isn't to oversell it, but it's a pretty simple logo. Thanks for your service. It's a heart with 4 fingers. And again, the idea is just how do you create something that's universal? We're putting the company together now. We're going to target different things to support. For instance, we believe we'll end up doing NYFD for New York Fire Department or Police Department, or different opportunities for people to use it as a fundraiser. But again, as a universal symbol, we're not tied to any charity or movement. And I believe the first thing we're going to do is we've got a story that we're learning more about of the National Guard in Grand Central Station has an issue apparently with not being able to go to public facilities, not being able to change, they're carrying live armament, and they actually need a place to just go change and go to the restroom. And so I believe our first project is going to be raising money for this opportunity in New York. So I'm sharing this with you because we're putting the company together, we're aligning the resources, both financial, operational, merchandise, as well as marketing. We've got some television shows opportunities, some movies, some people that are really stepping up to the plate quickly. And this was my opportunity just to get you in on the bottom opportunity that we're sharing and saying, hey, we're going to need your help. We're going to create thanks for your service. And the reason is, again, you can look around and say, okay, this is a morbid scenery, right? We're in the Veterans Administration. If you look, there's rows and rows and rows of people who have dedicated their life to service. But this is more about thanking the people who are alive. This is about providing a little bit of support to the people who on an everyday basis run towards the noise while those of us are running away from it. All right, thanks for your service. We're going to put this together. Watch for it. I'm going to ask for your help. I hope you'll join us.